What's up, guys? It's Nora, and I am here today with...
Jacob.
No, you can't be that awkward. What's up, guys? It's Nora, and I'm here today with...
Jacob.
Stop. What's up, guys? It's Nora, and I'm here today with...
Jacob.
And we are here to do a 2020 year in review because it was a year. And although a lot of people talk so negatively about 2020, there were a lot of pretty positive and great achievements that you and I had, I'd say, in 2020. So we wanted to go through and review them and maybe bring a little light to the year because there was a lot of bad things that happened. The year itself was a big game changer, I think, for a lot of people. A lot of people had their lives uprooted, their relationships changed, their families destroyed, their lives destroyed. I think 2020 truly brought out the true inner person of everybody, and it showed everybody's true colors, if you would agree.
Yeah.
Because of how brutal it was. So let's get to the video. 2020 started off pretty well. I mean, we started off going on a cruise, when in reality, probably the pandemic had already hit the United States, just nobody
knew about it or
like picked up on it or knew how like widespread it was. So kind of in the midst of everything, we were on a cruise ship having a great time. We got engaged, just had an overall great trip, and I don't think anything else happened in January that was awesome. In February, Jacob and I both made history because we did track and field, or indoor track and field, for our school. We attended GNAC's Division III indoor track and field, first ever championships, conference, whatever you want to call
Conference
it.
championship.
Yeah. And we went with a bunch of other schools and we competed at their track, and that had never actually happened before for our division or a conference. So that was a really, really big deal. And our school for boys came in second place. Girls came in...
Yeah, we lost by 1 point. The guys did.
There was some cheating done. But so girls came in third or second? Third. Which was better than what we expected, so that was pretty great. And then March hit. March was where everything fell apart. March started off spring break for our school. Our school does it the first week. I know some schools do it the second or third week, but we had the first week off. I just decided not to do Spring Break Work Fest this year because of the trips being offered and the trip that I was put on. And so instead, I decided to use my time and go and get a colonoscopy. Not fun. You can see where this is going. It's already not positive. And then, after my colonoscopy, I got really sick. And I still, to this day, question whether I had COVID. But I was sick going into break, but I didn't know it. I thought I was just having, like, a runny nose because the weather was changing, like, dramatically around that time. And so, in reality, I could have gotten sick from being in Boston very well, and I probably did get sick from being in Boston. But I didn't know that I was getting sick, and it kind of started hitting me after I got my colonoscopy, that ending of that day, and then the next day I woke up super, super sick all of a sudden. So I was sick the entire spring break week, then we went back to school, and then he got sick. Exactly what I had. The only downside of him getting sick the second week was that he didn't have a power bed at home that he could use to sleep upright. But I remembered that kicked me on my butt. I don't know what it was. It could have very well been COVID.
It most likely wasn't, but...
Well, I don't know. I've never like felt that crappy when I was sick. That knocked me on my butt. But we got back to school for a week or two, and I can't remember if it was the third or fourth week that we got sent home, but it was not long before our school decided to shut us down and send us home, which I personally didn't mind. He, on the other hand, hated it. And that's just because we're different types of learners. You really like being in the classroom and being one-on-one with the teacher. I'm someone that doesn't pay any attention in class just because of my ADHD, and my teachers stand up there and read a slideshow that they've already posted online. So mostly I do my learning after class and in my room, and that's how I kind of learn the material. I have to do it one-on-one at my own pace, not in the classroom. So being sent home to do everything online was like prime because it made me be able to get my work done faster because I didn't have to worry about going to classes throughout the day that I was really just wasting my time doing. I felt like clinicals got a little messed up. Wasn't I happy with that? Not specifically clinicals being messed up, but the way it was handled by the school, but couldn't help that. I don't remember anything that happened in April. I think in April we more just were...
Everything was shut down anyway.
Yeah, that's when everything like the harsh reality hit. We got sent home in March. Just a little side note, I moved in with Jacob and his parents. I did not go back home, personally, because I felt like I would do better in the environment here. Plus, him and I don't do long distance very well, just because we suck at being apart from each other. So we figured instead of us driving back and forth and wasting gas, plus I had the opportunity to possibly get a CNA job, which I looked into, but then it ended up not happening just because of the way COVID was going and how immune compromised I was. But we felt that it would be better if I would be here. So April, we mostly spent just literally doing schoolwork. We looked into getting the rabbits, the oh so lovely rabbits that are not in a good mood right now because they're sleepy. And then we hit May. And in May, we graduated virtually. Whoop, whoop, we earned our degrees. That was kind of, everyone saw that coming. We still haven't even been told that there is a graduation being planned for us. We were originally told, oh, we'll do something. We
were promised.
Yeah, we were promised a graduation by our school. Our school was like, you have our word, it's going to happen. I think because they expected things were going to be over by now. For the longest time, we're saying that they were going to do something for us with the 2021 graduates, which personally I feel like doesn't do us justice because we've already been in the real world for a good year. We've already gotten ourselves settled and then we're going to come back. We're not at the same level as the new graduates. Let's make that clear. We're not, like, I feel like they'd make it the same amount of a big deal for both of us when in reality, the 2020 graduates did have it real tough. I mean...
Well, I've still know people who haven't even found, like, a job yet.
It was, for some people, graduating during this time was a blessing, and for other people it was a curse. And we just can't do anything about that. But on the flip side, because we graduated the year that we did, we get... But we were all claimed dependents. We can get some of the stimulus check next year because we can claim independence. No one else can do that unless like they specifically qualify for it, which is great. So we graduated virtually in May. June rolled around. We adopted Phoebe. I took the NCLEX and passed. That was a big deal. But I took it at the end of June. I think we got Phoebe first. We settled her in. And she was the light of our lives. She kept us busy. We both looked for jobs. Summer started, so we took advantage of that too.
In the best way we could.
Yeah, because we both work jobs that are going to be year-round. We don't work a job that's going to have a summer vacation, so it's kind of nice to be like, okay, this is our last, like, summer where, yes, we're looking for jobs, but we still have the time to go down the road to our aunt's pool. But we took full advantage of that. So that wasn't too bad either. I mean, passing NCLEX is a really big deal. Getting a bunny is a big deal. I don't think anything else happened. I interviewed for jobs. I been interviewing
for jobs, or one job.
Yeah, and the same thing kind of happened for, and I turned 22, my birthday. We forgot your birthday. He turned 22 too, but
on spring break.
On spring break when I was sick, so not much happened there. July, August did the exact same thing as June. Besides, in July we adopted Gus, the little special boy that he is, and we bonded Gus and Phoebe properly, which took a little bit, but once they finally got used to each other, did not take very long, and that was awesome because that was something that we were really looking forward to. So that was a really positive thing too. Mm-hmm. July and August, I think, was when the world finally realized, oh no. I think that's the only way to describe it was, oh no.
Or that it wasn't going away anytime soon.
Yeah, no, it was not. And then we hit August, and I finally had been contacted by some people that I wanted to work for because I've always wanted to be a pediatric nurse. So I started getting the ball rolling in August to start my job, but in September, because we were finishing the apartment, and this whole time, I mean, we completely forgot we were doing the apartment at the same time, too, of everything, which was also another reason I moved in March, was so that I could also help with the apartment building, because, I mean, we were constantly, like, every other day at any point making decisions, just kind of randomly out of the blue, like, oh, hey, we need to think about that, we need to make this decision, so that was really helpful, too. Mm-hmm. And August was kind of when we started seeing the end of the tunnel for the apartment. It was supposed to be done in May. It was not done in May for a variety of reasons, but it took a little longer, but we got eventually, like, what we were looking for, mm-hmm. which is awesome. September, I started my new job. You didn't start your job till October? Yeah. So I started working for my job. Oh, I also had some health problems in August and September, which I'm going to talk about in another video because that may be another diagnosis in the near future. but I also don't want to say anything now because nothing's like set in stone. So I was having health problems while starting a new job, which was not fun. Not much happened September, October, I don't think.
Well, October I got my new job, and
yeah, people still had COVID. October, I think September, October was also the big kind of, okay, we're getting into election territory. That was when people started really paying attention to elections and everything with that, the commercials. And then November hit.
you voted. She voted for the first time.
I voted for the first time. I paid attention to like what was happening, so I felt like I knew enough to vote because previously it was going to be a process to vote in college, specifically because of where I lived and the town that I lived in and what time the city clerk is open, because I live in a town that has a population of less than like 3,000 people year round. I chose not to vote, besides the fact that I also didn't pay attention enough and I didn't feel like I was educated enough to vote. I didn't want to put myself in that position and then also vote for the wrong person. We had Thanksgiving. We went to my parents' house.
We had a socially distanced Thanksgiving.
We did have a good socially distanced Thanksgiving. We kept our mask on. Although, like, when I say, like, we went to my parents' house, it was literally my parents. And my brother, like, barely, pretty much stayed in his room. Jacob and I pretty much had our mask on. We ate separated from each other, and we constantly had our mask on when we were talking, and the food was being prepared, which was nice to still have at Thanksgiving. You loved my mom's food.
Mm-hmm.
So that wasn't bad either. And then we got to December. Oh, wait. December, technically, the beginning of December was when we moved into the apartment. We forgot that, too. So we moved in. There's still, like, certain things that need to be done around the apartment, so I haven't done another video showing everything in detail because I want everything to be done in the apartment before I do that, for that reason. So we did move in, and then you did buy your car before Christmas. He bought a new car. I'm in the process. We're getting things figured out. And then we had Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't go to my parents. We just exchanged gifts literally today, which is it's actually 2021 now. But I didn't have time because of work. I have been very busy with work, and my cases have been changing, and I got better cases to where I'm at a point now where I have the cases that I like and that I work with, and they're close near me. So that's really convenient. Everything's kind of filled into place and found its way. And everything, I'm a true believer of everything happens for a reason, whether you like it or not. I feel like fate happens, and I think you do too.
Meh.
I don't think you know what you believe yet. I think you're still figuring it out. I figured it out, but I mean, this year was like super, super terrible for hundreds of people, millions of people. Families were wiped out. I'm sure there are other countries still doing just as bad, if not worse, as us, and we're just not hearing about it. I think of people that I went on mission trips with and how they're doing. I mean, I want to talk about the positives of 2020 because most of the year was just overshadowed. It really sucked to every single day, it felt like, of the year, and almost practically, starting in about March, the news is literally just filled with people dying, the COVID rates, or the election. That doesn't make anything fun. I mean, people still are not at their jobs. I think a lot of people loved working from home and gained a love for it. I know people who gained a love for it.
I did.
Yeah. I think the way that the year went, a lot of things are going to change in the future because of this year. Things aren't going to be the same. I mean, also technically at the end of December, the COVID vaccine. We still are unsure of what's to happen in the future with that, if you're going to need like repeat doses and how far down the line that's going to be. But I guess we're just going to have to wait and figure it out. I also just want to make it very clear that just because Jacob and I are talking very positively about 2020 doesn't also mean that we didn't have struggles in 2020 just like everybody else did. I mean, mental health was a big one. We struggled both with the job market and still to this day are struggling with the job market because we are new grads. We struggled with, I very much have struggled with not being around my friends, but have to make that decision to keep myself safe. There's one friend that I literally haven't seen since graduation that I would love to see that literally lives like a town over or 2 towns over. She's super, super close to me and I'd love to go and see her, but because she works in the hospital and I'm immune compromised, I felt like it wasn't safe enough for me to go see her. And I also probably would have visited my parents just a little bit more at this point, but because of COVID, I haven't seen them. And same with your relatives. I mean, they live in the same town and you still haven't glancing them just because we want to keep ourselves safe. I also hope that 2020 was a year that we very much learned from and was one of those things where it's you learn from the history and that history is important. I hope that this year also, specifically with being a nurse and wanting to work in a hospital, I hope that it heavily influenced healthcare for the better and taught a lot of people a lot of lessons. I think 2020 was a year of learning and figuring out ourselves, like everybody, not just us. I think a lot of people had to come to terms with a lot of things and had to find their inner selves and what they really wanted in life. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.